So it was Christmas Day, and we were on vacation in Oklahoma City visiting my brother, who was in the Air Force, and me and my dad went out to Denny's to get some food to take back to our hotel room, and that was when a couple homeless men sat down next to us and were just talking with each other about what it was like to live outside during the winter time and what their life was like, really. And that's when there was something just inside of me to give them a gift. And I had earlier in the day gotten a Visa gift card from my grandparents, and it was just burning a hole in my pocket to buy the new Xbox game that had just come out. And I don't know what it was, but I just walked over to them, handed it to them, and the look on their faces when I handed it to them was just pure shock and joy, and it was exactly what they needed.
Well, we found ourselves on the receiving end of generosity recently. It was about 2 months ago, the transmission in our van went out, and we kind of went into panic mode, at least I did.
Yeah, and right about the time we found out that our van was going to die, the transmission was going, my dad received a call from a woman that was a wedding planner for a wedding he had done about a year ago, and she expressed that her and her husband had been blessed financially over the last year, and they had a van that they felt like they needed to give to a family in need. And as she was expressing that to my dad and wondering what to do, my dad kind of shared our story, and she said she just knew that we were answered prayer for them, and in turn they were answered prayer for us.
A few years ago, I was faced with a decision to either undergive or overgive. Back when I was tithing cash, I opened my wallet to find a bill smaller and larger than my normal giving amount. So I quickly gave the larger bill and passed it on so that I wouldn't change my mind, but didn't think much of it until breakfast after the service. We headed up to the front to pay, they cashed out, and as I handed the hostess my check, she scanned it and looked really confused. She got a manager, and he tried a few times, and he told me, "We can see what you ordered and your total right here, but your ticket's ringing up as $0." I don't know what the problem is, so I guess it's on the house.
Well, we've all heard about the stories of people that just randomly decide, I'm gonna pay for the person's food behind me in the drive-thru line. And several years ago, I was in the grocery store and just kept passing the same couple over and over, and it was clear that they were agonizing over what they could and couldn't afford, and I really felt led to pay for their groceries. So I stalked them, met them at the grocery line, and just offered to pay for all their food that day, and their response to me was just shockingly angry. They questioned my motives. They said, who would ever do something like that? And ultimately, we parted ways really uncomfortably. And I just remember standing in the middle of the grocery store and having to laugh because it was so out of nowhere that I hadn't expected that. And then thinking, you know, my job is to be obedient. And I was. I have no control over how they or anybody responds to my generosity, so I'll continue to live with an open hand, and if I get told off by a sweet-looking couple in a grocery store, then that's okay.